Boozed and Confused is a comedy and weird topic podcast. Adult language may be used, probably by me. While our episode topics may be educational in nature, we are not responsible if your children start dropping the F-bomb to their kindergarten class. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
How are we today?
It's been a long weekend.
It has been a very long weekend. I'm Carol Ann,
I'm still Matt.
still Matt, and this is still Boozed and Confused.
Hold on. I'm confused.
I am excited. This is our 11th episode.
That's one more than it was last week.
Yes, it was.
What's it going to be? 10 or 11?
And some other exciting news. We just hit 500 downloads yesterday, which is kind of neat. And I'm shocked that many people care to listen to the podcast.
You know, I was kind of on the other end. I just thought it was like my mom playing it 500 times.
Mashing it, yeah.
If it is, I really appreciate it, Mom.
Thanks for really boosting our numbers for us. What are we drinking today?
Well, like I said, it has been a very long weekend of weddings, and it takes a toll on the body. This is a lovely drink called Vista Bay. It is essentially the Aldi equivalent of White Claw, and this is black cherry. It's a good flavor.
Aren't we so fortunate to have an Aldi knockoff of the elusive White Claw?
It's actually not that bad.
Oh, good. What would you rate it out of 10?
Well, what is 10? Like a White Claw?
Yeah, 10 would be like better than a White Claw, maybe.
I'd give it a 9.3.
Wow. Okay.
As in, like, if I close my eyes and you gave me a Vista Bay and a White Claw, I probably could not tell the difference.
And you know what? Probably neither could the super trashed girls that have about 6 of them and then they're ready for a night out.
I mean, at 100 calories, 2 grams of carbs, and a 5% alcohol volume content, it's pretty refreshing. Best part? It's gluten-free.
Oh, great selling point. That's the selling point for me, the gluten-free.
So refreshed.
So, to be honest, because it's been a very long week and a very long weekend, we did not have the time or energy to write our own topic for today's episode. And instead, we are going to be reading a listicle from thelineup.com.
Thanks for doing our homework, thelineup.com.
Yeah, it's appreciated. So today we are going to be talking about exorcisms and possessions. But before we get into the list itself, just some housekeeping items.
Please no chewing gum in the classroom. It finds a way out of your mouth, and we don't want mice in the building.
And other housekeeping items. If you like the podcast, which I hope you would, if this is episode 11 and you've listened to us before, the best way that you could support us is by leaving us a review on your platform of choice and following us to make sure that you don't miss an episode. Episodes drop every Monday. We are on social media, so we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you leave us a review, you can take a screenshot of it, send it to us, and we will send you your very own Boozed and Confused stickers for free.
Even if you live in Sweden, which we're working on it. It's a lot harder to spell things in Swedish than in English, but shout out to all of our Swedish friends who somehow got us on a top podcast list in Sweden.
Yeah, top 200 true crime podcasts in Sweden, which was very strange and unexpected, but welcomed.
I am surprised, but thank you, Sweden. You're a wonderful place that we'd love to go to once our country's off of the blacklist of traveling. That might be a minute, but we'll definitely be there and would love to watch some club rugby or something.
Yeah, we'll hit you up soon. Not too soon, but post-COVID soon. All right. Should we get into it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. oddly terrified of this topic. I take it super seriously. It's like I don't touch Ouija boards or anything that's involving the other end of existence. I take it very seriously.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, I loved stuff like this. I still do love stuff like this, but I have definitely played with Ouija boards before. Haven't done it in at least 15 years. I don't think I would mess with that anymore.
If it was any time while we were dating, I would talk to a marriage counselor or a divorce lawyer immediately.
Yeah, no, I understand.
We've seen too many films where that goes wrong.
It's too much of a liability. I understand.
We have cats to take care of.
All right. Without further ado, here are 9 disturbing cases of real-life exorcism and possession by the lineup staff. Our first topic comes from a story of Annalisa Michel. Perhaps one of the most terrifying exorcism cases in history, Annalisa Michel's story went on to inspire the 2005 film The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Michel, a young German woman, had struggled from an early age with mental illness. Diagnosed with epileptic psychosis, she also experienced depression and visual and auditory hallucinations for which she was hospitalized. With time, her symptoms intensified, growing to include an aversion towards religious iconography. Both she and her Catholic family attributed her condition to demonic possession, and beginning at 22, she underwent an intense 10 months of Catholic exorcism rites. Nearly 70 exorcisms were performed in secrecy under the order of the Church. In July 1976, Michel passed away. An autopsy declared her death was the result of emaciation, malnutrition, and starvation at the hands of her priests and her family, who had, during the exorcisms, discontinued consultations with doctors. The family and priests involved were investigated, charged with negligent homicide, and found guilty of manslaughter, serving 6 months in jail and 3 years probation.
Yeah, I remember the movie coming out. My dad took my brother and me to it. And I want to say the actress who was playing Annalise, is that how you say it?
I'm sure I've changed the pronunciation a couple of times, so I apologize.
It was Emily Rose in the movie. Her name was Emily in the movie. I want to say it starred Jennifer Carpenter, who I think is most well known for being in Dexter as the sister. I want to say she was also in White Chicks.
Classic.
It's an all-time classic. Watching that film in 2005, I was a sophomore in high school. The only other film I'd seen before that was just the Exorcism movie, and this one was horrifying.
The Exorcist. Like the classic.
Yes. Oh, Shake, I'm always giving you crap about being uncultured in your cinema viewing. But there I go.
I've got the classics down, and that's what I need. The classics are The Exorcist,
Star Wars 1, Star Wars 2, Star Wars 3.
No,
and by 1, 2, 3, I mean 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings trilogy, extended edition.
Yes.
And I think Jaws.
Definitely Jaws, definitely Jurassic Park.
But beyond that, really, I don't think you really watch anything else. That and like a lot of Below Deck.
That's
90 Day Fiancé.
You don't need to air my dirty laundry.
No,
all right?
No. Oh, but watching people air theirs is a real different story.
Yes, it is. Let's get back to Annalisa, huh?
Look, that film was horrifying. The intensity of Carpenter as Emily Rose. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the original girl's name. But the part where she starts speaking different languages and like screaming, it was rough. I want to say a big part of the film was a lawyer visiting the priest while he was in jail and trying to get the story straight about whether it was negligence or was it a result of her being possessed. But at least in the movie, I want to say there was more than one demon possessing her. Like 7.
Yeah. I think I do remember that part, actually.
Like she was counting in German, or was it Latin or something? Terrifying.
Probably Latin, because that seems scarier than German somehow.
Post World War II, I don't know what's scarier, Latin or German. Angry German.
Every German phrase sounds angry, so
It does.
it does. What's our second topic?
This is the possession of Anna Eklund. And this one's off to a great start because it talks about speaking in foreign tongues, which is always horrifying for me. Often said to include speaking in tongues and strange guttural voices, levitating and clinging to bedroom walls, disturbed thoughts and revulsion of holy objects and sacred spaces, Eklund's possession spanned several decades beginning in 1912 when she was just 14 years old. Her case was so well known that it serves as the basis for a time profile of the priest in charge of her exorcism, Father Theophilus Ressinger. Anna's demonic possession was reportedly the result of a curse, which was put on her by her caretakers, her father and her Aunt Mina. Her wonderful Aunt Mina was believed to be the lover of Anna's father, as well as a witch who used spelled herbs in Eklund's food to put her under the demon's spell. Her father, Karl Vogel, penned an account of Anna's possession in a pamphlet, which was published in 1936 called Begone, Satan, a soul-stirring account of diabolical possessions in Iowa. The first exorcism performed on Eklund was in 1912, was successful for a time, but Eklund would be possessed again by even more demons in 1928. Her second exorcism, which lasted 3 sessions, was held at a convent in Erling, Iowa, and was so grueling it resulted in the deterioration of Eklund's body. The demons were eventually exorcised, and Eklund went on to live her life with only milder possessions after.
That sounds awful. Yeah, let's just starve her, basically, and maybe beat the demons out of her until maybe the demons leave.
I mean, I think if I were a demon, I would kind of want that result. But I'm not a demon, I promise. 1910s, 1920s Iowa, who knows what's going on there. But it's got a lot of old world vibes with the cursed herbs put in the food.
Yeah, right. First of all, Mina sounds terrible. Mina would not be invited to my Thanksgiving dinner table. Absolutely not. Okay, and as far as I'm concerned, I think her father could probably go piss up a rope as well.
Where have I heard that phrase before?
I don't know.
That phrase was used about 15 times at the wedding last night.
Yep, and now it's my new favorite phrase for today.
The phrase of the week, of the day. Yeah, there it is. I haven't read the pamphlet yet. I'm sure it's a real page turner.
Yeah, begone, Satan. I just want to know what the reasoning was behind putting a curse on her by her dad and her aunt.
It was just her aunt, who might have been a witch, which is super dope. It's Halloween time. But maybe it was to have more time with her brother-in-law.
That's so disturbing on so many levels.
Hey, love is love. Maybe she just loved him so much, she had to get the daughter out of the way to have all the time to herself.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a very healthy relationship.
If I can't have all of you, no one can.
Number 3 is the Smurl's poltergeist. Unlike many other well-known cases of demonic possession, the Smurl family claimed it was not a person who was possessed. Instead, they claimed their West Pittston, Pennsylvania double-block home had been taken over by a poltergeist. The Smurl family's case was both highly publicized and heavily scrutinized, discredited by paranormal professionals and the clergy who claimed on several occasions that nothing unusual was happening at the residence. However, paranormal investigators and demonologists, very well known Ed and Lorraine Warren, claimed the house was occupied by a very powerful demon, performing several exorcisms on the home to rid it of the dark shadow they saw there. The unsuccessful exorcism was done in an attempt to stop the demon's alleged attacks on the family, which included loud banging, foul-smelling odors, shaken mattresses, physical and sexual assaults on one of the members of the family, others being pushed downstairs, and even their dog being thrown into the wall. In 1986, after publishing a book about their experiences, the family claimed intense prayer had helped return things to normal, although the family matriarch said there were still odd occurrences in 1987.
This is just giving me vibes of that movie Poltergeist.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be a real piece of shit demon if you're going to start throwing the family dog into the wall.
I also, when I first read this, thought it was the Smurf family Poltergeist, which I think would have been a great sequel to the new Smurf movies.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that spinoff, actually.
I think it was canned before production, but I think there could have been a really star-studded cast. Thinking like Jennifer Lawrence, Timberlake's always in there somewhere now. He's a great voice actor. And Matthew McConaughey as the demon.
Ooh, wow. That is, that would be a change for him, wouldn't it?
You know, the whole possessed house thing, you know, it really hits a vibe with me. I remember when we first moved into our house and like you weren't staying there yet, but I was kind of like lying on the mattress that had no sheets or anything. Every creak, every noise, anything I heard, it was someone trying to get into the house to murder me, or it was a possession. And in honor of the person who last lived here, I named our basement pub after him to show good spiritual intentions. You know, he's a good guy, and I don't want to get possessed by the old man who used to live here.
Good vibes only.
That's what I'm trying to say. Let's go to number 4. This one's just called Roland Doe. In many ways, Eklund and Roland Doe, also known by other aliases, Robbie Mannheim, had similar experiences with possession, including the fact that both were cataloged and published by priests. Doe's case became so notorious that it too was adapted into a film. His case was the inspiration for the 1973 horror classic, The Exorcist.
The Exorcism.
Oh, like, I'll watch it again, I promise. I'll watch it. After the passing of his aunt, the 13-year-old turned to a spirit board to commune with his beloved family member. Instead of inviting his aunt, Roland apparently invited something much more sinister. After the family became overwhelmed by weird occurrences, including odd noises, furniture moving by itself, and objects levitating when Roland was around, they reached out to their Lutheran pastor, who, after monitoring Roland's behavior, declared that he should see a Catholic priest. He did. During the resulting exorcism, the boy slashed the Catholic priest's arm with a bed spring, temporarily putting an end to any further action. The family then moved to St. Louis and saw 3 more priests who, with the permission of an archbishop, carried out around 30 exorcisms on Roland in the psychiatric wing of a city hospital. Messages written on his skin, guttural voices, and extreme strength were noted in one priest's diary before the young boy was eventually freed from the malicious spirit with no memory of the incident.
Holy shit. I don't know if I actually knew that many details around the case that allegedly inspired The Exorcist, but
yeah, this is one of the films that scared my dad the most. I remember watching it with him. It was on like AMC or something. I know in the film it was a girl who was possessed, and you had the whole like split pea soup vomit thing, head spinning around, the upside down stairs walking and stuff.
That's what I was just gonna say.
And then there were like 2 sequels to that movie as well, but they didn't do as well as the first one.
No, of course not. They never do.
I remember going to the haunted houses at Universal Studios. It was a pretty good haunted house. I mean, all of them were really high quality down there, But that one was like the actual house. Like it was a super small version of it. And it's not anything like a torture fest haunted house, but the entire like ambiance, and it definitely had one of those like animatronic split pea soup vomiting robots, which if it ever became sentient would be a nightmare to deal with. But going back to the Catholic priest part of the story, something I learned was that in every archdiocese, there's like a secret priest who can do exorcisms, and like no one knows who it is, but they're there. They're around, like all over the place.
That sounds like a great topic that we should do.
Like secret exorcists in America and all over the world.
Exorcist approved priests in plain sight.
They're there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the church takes it that seriously that they have like demon hunters. I wouldn't call them demon hunters, but they're there.
The thing that I thought was interesting from this was that they went to the Lutheran pastor who was like, you know what? Yeah, I can't really help you here. You should go see a Catholic priest.
Let's go to the Catholics. Let's go to the Catholic priest.
I'm not qualified for this.
Well, I mean, if you've got one in every archdiocese, that's pretty serious. That's some serious coverage. I mean, doesn't the Catholic Church have like the most real estate owned in the country?
Oh, I believe it.
I want to say I've heard that somewhere. If I'm incorrect, I apologize. But that's some pretty serious heavy firepower.
Yeah, it might be them or McDonald's for the real estate. I'm not really sure.
I'd feel more comfortable if it was the Catholic priests, though.
Yeah, we'll have to fact check and see.
Maybe next time. So yeah, what's our next one?
Number 5 is David Berkowitz, son of Sam.
I've heard of this guy before.
The picture is very familiar looking, and I can't remember if it's from the crime museum that we went to in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or if I did some like 3 a.m. research on this and just don't remember.
This guy looks like Al Capone, but like with like way more hair.
Mm-hmm. That's a good description.
I'll stick to that.
One of America's most notorious serial killers claimed to have been possessed during his spree, blaming the demons for the murder of 6 New York residents. In the year between 1976 and 1977, Berkowitz would terrorize the residents of the city's 5 boroughs, murdering 6 and wounding 7, a violent spree he attributed to Papa Sam, a mysterious evil figure Berkowitz referenced in the letters he left at his crime scenes. After his capture, it was revealed that Sam was the dog of his neighbor Sam Carr. Berkowitz claimed in his prison diaries that the animal was possessed by a 6,000-year-old man named Sam, an alcoholic who consumed human blood. Berkowitz also claimed that the spirit locked him in the attic and commanded him to kill through the dog. Quote, "He told me to kill through his dog, as he usually does," David wrote in his diaries, before revealing concern that he may one day evolve into a humanoid or demon in a more complete state. Although Berkowitz has gone back and forth, sometimes sticking with the possession story, sometimes recanting it, he, to this day, believes that his crimes were part of an epic struggle between God and the devil.
The devil and God are raging inside of me. That was a great album. This gives me mad vibes of that movie, The Witch.
Ooh, yes.
Super good movie if you haven't seen it yet. It's like Puritan America, and there's this family on a farm in like the New England region, and the entire film revolves around kind of like mistrust of the family members. They think that the youngest people in the family are like twins, and that they're talking to the devil through a goat named Black Bart. And I'm just getting really big vibes from Son of Sam with that. But I think what the family from the Witch movie is lacking is a trial involving just like law. And it's more like, no, you're totally witches. You made a pact with the devil through your goat. But the movie has a great ending. I want to spoil it, but it doesn't feel right. It's an amazing film. And if you're looking for something spooky to watch for Halloween, this is definitely the one.
Yeah, it's a good one to add to your list. I would say top 5 spooky movies.
And not like a cheap spooky movie. It's less jump scares and more psychological terror.
Yeah, it's very creepy, and it's definitely not a jump scare kind of movie. It's very unsettling, I would say.
It's just super good. Super good.
All right, what do we got next?
The Strange Case of Michael Taylor. So a lot of the cases we've had so far, the people who are being attacked or possessed or subjugated, their lives, unless they end, are more or less ending in some kind of normalcy. This is a case that it's kind of not that way. So Michael Taylor was the one who was, I guess, being possessed, and Christine Taylor, his wife, accused him of adultery due to his erratic and socially distanced behavior. And Taylor lashed out at both his wife and his alleged mistress. In a short time, his terrifying behavior increased in frequency and intensity, and it was decided that Michael would be seen by priests. Following a full night of exhaustive exorcism sessions, the priest claimed that they had pulled out upwards of 40 demons from Taylor, but that several remained inside of him when they sent him home. Upon his return, he violently murdered his wife and strangled the family poodle to death. He was picked up by police after wandering the neighborhood streets, soaked in blood.
Oh my God.
When you kill the dog.
Yeah, you're just, like, the theme here is if you hurt the dog, you're just a piece of shit. I don't care if you're a demon or a person possessed by a demon.
What's it gotta be like to have 40 demons inside of you?
Well, also, let's go back to this. I guess if I'm understanding this correctly, basically he was probably having an affair with the church group leader, right? And when he was called out on it, he was so angry that they decided that because his behavior was so abusive and scary that he was possessed, and maybe just like instead needed anger management counseling.
Yeah, so this murder happened in 1974. And so when he was put on trial, he was actually acquitted on grounds of insanity. He was sent to a hospital for 2 years, and he spent another 2 years in a secure ward before being released. And the bizarre nature of the case attracted a lot of publicity for him. But don't worry, it gets worse. In 2005, Michael Taylor re-entered the news after being found guilty of touching a teenage girl indecently.
Oh, wow. A piece of shit who murders his family is also a molester? I'm shocked. I, for one, am shocked.
And so, yeah, within a week of him being put back in jail, he had attempted suicide on 4 occasions, and he began exhibiting sorts of strange behavior that had preceded his wife's murder in 1974. And when he was brought back to the courts, they once again ordered him into a psychiatric ward, where I believe he remains.
What a terrible person.
We can agree on that.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on. So, number 7 takes us to South Africa, and this is Clara Germana Selly.
This feels like one of those Mojo YouTube videos. Number 7. Here's top 10 possessions, but we only have, 9?
Yeah, you won't believe number 2.
Please watch our videos and watch all the commercials.
And there's 800 ads in between them.
Thanks, Watch Mojo.
The first 30 minutes are just them talking about like their personal lives and their dogs.
It's just like those stupid websites with recipes.
Yeah, they just stuff it with ads. Yeah.
I don't care about how much your house smells wonderful when you're done. Just how do I make this soup?
All right, so number 7. The case of Clara Germana Sally takes us all the way to a mission school in Umzinto, South Africa. The 16-year-old student was allegedly possessed in the late summer of 1906 after making a pact with the devil. As word about the pact reached one of the school's priests, Clara's behavior became erratic and intensified rapidly, with witnesses claiming that the young girl developed a strong aversion to holy objects, tore at her clothes, talked to things that weren't visible, and growled like an animal. She also gained knowledge of other languages, supposedly levitated up to 5 feet off the ground, exhibited superhuman strength, and relayed personal information about others she shouldn't have been able to know, all trademarks of possession. 2 priests performed an exorcism that lasted more than a day, but another became necessary in January of 1907 after the girl admitted she had made yet another pact with the devil because the first one went so well. Another exorcism was allegedly performed, this time lasting 2 days before she was freed of the demon. Yeah, the first one went so well, I think I'll do this again.
There's got to be some pretty solid trade-offs, right, for selling your soul. And how do you sell it twice? Isn't it like binding?
Yeah, I don't really know how the logistics of that works. I don't know what the pros really are. I think there's a lot of cons.
Floating 5 feet above the ground is pretty cool.
Yeah, but you probably don't have control over your body as that's happening.
True. But again, you got me on making a pact twice, because usually the sealing the deal involves your soul. And as far as I know, you only get one of those. So what gives?
Yeah, it's usually one and done.
There's no taking back that.
No second chances.
It's actually, there's a water company out there called Liquid Death. And it's like a water company, but it's like super like hardcore, like death metal, like water's brutal. Water's not a soft thing. It's like, it kills people. Murder your thirst, they say. This is not an ad, actually. I'm just really interested by the company. And on their website, you can sell your soul to the company legally for a case of water.
All right, I'm starting to see the pros here.
Free case of water. But, I take this stuff so seriously, though I'm pretty sure it's a joke, but, it's like a legally binding deal of giving your soul to them. I gotta say, I'm not in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want to sign anything officially, but interesting concept.
I'll just drink from the tap. It's okay. All right, here's number 8. I'm going to do my best watch Mojo impression here. Number 8, Dr. Richard Gallagher and Julia. It's pretty solid, right?
Yeah, that was really good.
If they ever need an off-color and quirky announcer, I am available. Watch Mojo. So this possession case is the most recent on our list, occurring less than 10 years ago in 2008, but it's actually
the list is slightly outdated.
2020. So occurring less than, I can't do math, crap.
15 years ago, technically.
We'll just put it there.
Technically less than 100 years ago.
I'm an English teacher. I'm taught to read, not to do anything else. In 2008, a board-certified psychiatrist and teacher at both Columbia University and New York Medical College, Richard E. Gallagher, declared that his patient, known only as Julia, had experienced possession. Described as a charming and engaging woman, Julia was the queen of a satanic cult.
How do you become queen of a cult? I'm just asking for a friend.
You have the most Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
All right, I'm out. I'm not qualified.
I might be able to be a queen of a cult then. After feeling convinced she was being attacked by a demon, Julia reached out to a local priest who, in turn, reached out to Gallagher to put the woman through psychiatric treatment. But Gallagher ruled out mental illness after seeing his patient enter trance-like states and finding items flying off the shelves in his office. Julia speaking in tongues and sharing details about his life that she could not know. One event that sealed the deal for the Yale-educated medical professional was when, during a phone call with Julia's priest, he heard one of the demonic voices that had come from her mouth, except she was nowhere near a phone.
Ooh, creepy. Ooh, ew, that just gave me chills, actually. That was kind of creepy. Okay.
Juliet was eventually exorcised, a process during which she allegedly spewed threats, levitated, exhibited superhuman strength, and changed the temperature of the room.
Ooh, I still have chills from that phone call. That was a little creepy.
Look, you can change the room's temperature on your phone these days. I ain't buying it.
I don't know. Maybe, well, I mean, smart thermostats are a newer technology. I don't know if they're that new, though.
I mean, you can tell, like, when you're on your business trips that I lower the temperature of the nest.
Yeah, you're damn right I can.
Look at us destroying gender norms, where the husband's not the one caring about the thermostat. It's the wife.
Yeah, because I look at the ComEd bill and the NICOR bill every month.
You are a strong and empowered woman, and I honor you.
And don't touch my thermostat.
It's our thermostat.
It's my thermostat.
You didn't put it in. Did you install it? Do you know how it works?
No.
Okay.
You got me there.
You do. But yeah, the cell phone part's pretty creepy. Demons have a whole new way to terrorize us, and it's through the phone lines. Well, I guess like satellite.
Bluetooth connection. The cloud.
Like I get pretty upset when the Alexa or the Google Dot thing start doing stuff on their own. That really upsets me.
Yeah. I was just talking with a friend today about how she was absolutely nowhere near her phone, but she was talking about Potbelly near her Alexa, and then all of a sudden she started getting ads about Potbelly. And I actually do this for a living. This is part of my digital marketing job. And no, I don't listen to your phone conversations, but there are legitimate reasons for why you start getting ads for things that you talk about. But if you're nowhere near a phone and you haven't been researching, I don't know. It's a little sketch.
That's FBI guy right there.
That is FBI guy.
FBI guy. See you tonight.
Looking out for your Potbelly needs.
We don't go there anymore, but that's for our own reasons.
Personal PPP reasons.
Big PP. We know that we have a huge line of people trying to sponsor us, but Potbelly is one we will say no to at all times. You can try us, Potbelly. Do it. Please reach out to us.
Also, I don't think there's any booze at Potbelly, so...
Yeah, I feel like our sponsorship should revolve around... We have no sponsorship, nor will we ever.
We're really just planning ahead here for no future whatsoever.
This entire thing was just about doing stuff during COVID quarantine, and now we're just doing it out of obligation to all of you friends in Sweden and my mom.
Yes, it's really for you, Sweden.
What's number 9?
All right, number 9, bringing it home. Carolyn Perron and the Perron Family. Adapted for the big screen into the hugely successful Hollywood horror hit The Conjuring, this possession is the epitome of a real-life horror story. Soon after the Perron family moved into their dream... What?
You called them the Perron family, and I called them the Perron.
They're the Perron family.
I'd say we just go with Perron.
All right, let's just go with Perron.
I'm going to stick to that.
Soon after the Perron family moved into their dream house in a quaint Rhode Island neighborhood in 1970, the haunting began. The family immediately began to experience odd and terrifying happenings, from some things as small as odd sounds to those as terrifying as family members being pulled from their beds. On a number of occasions, the ghost of a woman who hanged herself on the property appeared. She particularly abhorred the Perron matriarch, harassing and eventually possessing her. The paranormal investigative duo, Ed and Lorraine Warren, see how they keep popping up, were brought in, and after evaluating the Perron situation, declared that there had been quite a few insidious things that occurred in the home and around the property that cast a dark cloud over the entire place. Attempts to exorcise the malevolent spirit from the home failed, and the family endured its torment until 1980. So first thing I have to say to that is I think we could maybe do an episode about Ed and Lorraine Warren specifically, because I know that they're seen as like the iconic, like epitome of not ghost hunting, but, investigations into the spiritual world. There's so many things that I've learned about them that just cause them to be so controversial, and it's super duper interesting. And I think a lot of people don't know a lot of the backstory, so maybe we can do another episode on that.
I'm actually watching a trailer, muted of course, of The Conjuring. I know we've seen The Conjuring. I guess there's like 3 of them now.
Oh yeah, there's a third one coming out, or supposed to be coming out in 2020, or it did come out.
Oh, you know what? The actor in this is also in Insidious, and I was thinking of Insidious.
Also a great movie to add to your spooky movie list.
Oh, there's the hanging lady in the trailer. Oh, there's the ropes.
Maybe we start a new podcast where it's just you watching movie trailers on mute and then describing what you think is happening.
Oh, there's a flash. Oh, it's all dark. If this list taught me anything, it's that there's a lot of really scary movies that we have to watch for either the first time or at least the third time. And since it's like Halloween month, I think we have our tasks set up for us.
Spookytober.
Spooktober. My body is so ready.
Yeah, we're almost halfway through the month, so we really got to cram all these in.
I saw candy corn at a store today, and I almost bought some.
It's not on the list of possessions or anything, but I am curious about people's thoughts on candy corn. So if you love candy corn, send us a message. If you are repulsed by candy corn, send us a message. I want to know what the viewers think.
Is the candy corn flavor the same as the pumpkin candy flavor?
And the other question I have, the candy corn is obviously 3 different colors. Do all colors taste the same?
I need to call my mom.
Yeah, this is a topic for another day, so maybe we'll do a mini episode on that. But thank you so much for joining us again this week. We will post the link to this in the show notes if you are at all interested in reading back on any of these and maybe doing a little bit more research. I think we have a couple of ideas for topics in the future to revisit these.
This is amazing timing. Not even doing this for the show. I just finished my Vista Bay.
Wow. What are your final thoughts to wrap up the episode?
Just like White Claw, it's like drinking sparkling water and you say a flavor.
And you close your eyes and you imagine it.
It's like sitting on a bay and drinking in black cherry flavored water.
And it's like 3-day-old black cherry water.
Yeah, very infused. I'm neither in love with nor hating this. Generally, when it gets to be spooky time, I dive into pumpkin beers and such.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't been to the store.
I've been the one making the alcohol purchases, hence the Vista Bay.
Maybe we can use that money from the wedding the other night to buy some investments in the pod in the future.
Ooh, reinvestments. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm going to start doing some research on pumpkin ales and heavy dark beers that pour like motor oil. Because that's what podcasters do. They drink really hip, cool beer. And Vista Bay is not a beer. And it is not summertime anymore. So I feel like a fraud.
Well, if you want to hear more about our existential crisis about the alcohol we should be drinking during the appropriate time of the season, tune in next week. We release new episodes every Monday, and don't forget, follow us on your platform of choice to get every new episode that we release. Leave us a review if you are so inclined. It is the best way that you could support us, and we would really appreciate it, especially on Apple Podcasts. I understand why other podcasts say this now. Leaving reviews helps the algorithm so much, so it helps other people find us to listen to. And we'd really appreciate any reviews if you enjoy the podcast. And don't forget, if you leave a review and you take a screenshot and send it to us, we will send you your own Boozed and Confused stickers for free. And don't be afraid to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if those are your jam. If they're not your jam, you can send us an email at boozedandconfusedpodcast@gmail.com.
You do that so well every time. Like, you'd think that would be like a recording. You do that live every single time.
Every time. Sometimes I forget the email address.
I mean, I have like 5,000 emails sitting in my inbox right now, and frankly, they're not getting touched.
That's okay.
But great job.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
you.
I'm not in charge of our podcast email.
Yeah, no, you'll hear from me.
Not from me.
Any social media, any emails, it's me.
It's not me.
And this is why I own the thermostat.
Oh, we're going back to that. We're going to go talk in the car after this, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much again for tuning in. We will, I guess, see you guys next week.
We love you, Sweden.
Sweden, you the real ones.
Keep us in that top 200, please.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.